to first talk to you about this pine tree here. See these young pine needles that's coming out? There's actually more trying to come out here. These are a super great source of vitamin C, guys. These have more vitamin C in it than 4 oranges. And you know, vitamin C is great for your immune system, as most of us know. You can take these actual needles here, or take some of the new growth that starts coming out, and make you a tea with it and get a super dose of vitamin C out of that. And also, if you have any pine cones, which this one's not fully developed yet, but as they developed more, the pine nuts that's inside of them are a super great source of protein that you can get from a pine tree. So keep those things in mind, because those are things you can actually eat for protein, for vitamin C. That's 2 amazing things you can get right there. All right, guys, another great source of protein, which these haven't bloomed out yet, guys, is your the clovers, your 3-leaf clovers. The white and the purple both are super high in protein. The bloom's particularly the best, but you can also eat the greens for that matter. So that's a great source of protein for you guys. Super great. I use it a lot because it's also good for a female menopausal and different things like that to balance your hormones. So I use it. I probably drink that every week for that purpose. But it's a great time to get this out there and throw these leaves in your salads even. You've heard me talk before about my watercress greens that are in our creek. That is a super food. It's got all kinds of antioxidants in it. And I'm thinking they're high in vitamin C as well. There's several things. That's not really what this one's about, so I don't have the fullness of that. But this here I wanted to show you. This is curly dock. And you can probably see a little better there. It don't always grow on a creek, by no means. It usually don't grow on a creek. But you'll see it there. And curly dock is super great. You can eat this as a green. This is better cooked. It's got a lot of tannins in it, which are things that too much of can, be hard on your stomach and stuff. But as you cook these are better cooked than put in a salad. Cook them just like you would any type of green, collard greens or anything like that. And as for the watercress, usually they'll grow wild around springs. So if you have a spring near your area, you'll find them wild. But I was trying to find, see that one there's got a red vein in it? That might help you. And there's also a yellow dock that down at the root of this thing here, you will find be yellow down in there. And you'll know that that's yellow dock. But that's something that you can eat, guys. It's got a lot of good vitamins and minerals in it to be good for you. It detoxes your body and cleanses your blood. And it's edible. So there's lots of vitamins and stuff as well. And don't forget your black walnuts, guys. I still got a bunch in the house, but these walnuts are high in protein, so that's a high protein thing for you. Chestnuts and, like I said earlier, pine nuts, all of those are high protein things that you can get. And acorns, guys. But let me tell you about acorns. The only way you can eat acorns, though, is for you to put them in some water and boil them, and then switch them to another pot of boiling water, and do that about 4 or 5 times, and it helps get a lot of the tannins out of the acorn, and then you can actually eat it. And they have a lot of protein in them. There's our dandelions, guys. Those are super great for your liver. They are good to eat. You can eat those very easily. The actual heads like this, I like to make me up a cornmeal batter and dip them in it kind of like you would okra and fry them. Makes a great little thing to eat on. And the leaves you can put in your salads. So dandelion is a biggie for my household. My grandbabies love fried dandelions. Okay, guys, this here is dead nettle. I've actually already got a video about this, but I wanted to run over it real quickly because I'm standing here near it. Dead nettle it's got a lot of good vitamins and minerals and stuff in it. It's good for a lot of things medicinal, but right now I'm just going over the nutritional value of it. Vitamin C is very high in this thing. Vitamin C is a biggie I want to really get across to you folks, and protein, but this one's also high. This one isn't high in protein, but it is high in iron and fiber and a lot of antioxidants. And like I said, vitamin C. You'll find it darker purple in some areas of your yard because of shaded areas tend to have a darker purple than this one is. The little blooms are kind of sweet, so I like throwing them in a salad, but I'm not big on just eating the leaves plain. I like to cook them if I use them. It's got, like I said, it's got a lot of other properties too that I won't go into this video here. I really want to go into the surface of things of edibles that's right in your front yard, so that you won't necessarily go out and buy things to try to kill things that's in your yard. These things will go away. This dead nettle will be gone in a few more weeks, and it won't be there anyway. So, you know, if you don't like the looks of it, just wait a little while and it'll be gone. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I'll be doing some more videos like this here in the next few weeks, so that I will show you even more things that's coming about, because there's still several other things that's already starting to bud out that I can show you guys. And I am not a doctor. I don't claim to be a doctor. I've learned a lot, mostly from a lot of mentors, elderly mentors that I have worked with, and out of my own studying and some smaller courses that I've taken. So I throw out my disclaimer here. These are things that I have learned. I'm not telling you to do them. I'm telling you to see what I show you and do your research. So God bless you guys. Love you guys. See you later. Hey guys, it's time for Remember When. Today I thought I would just talk about a couple things that has come to my mind here just recently. But one of my commenters and me were talking about how we used to drink through a water hose all the time and didn't think a thing about drinking in the water hose. And, you know, it's just something we always have done and didn't think a thing about. I used to drink out of the spring a lot. My grandmother, we had this yellow bucket, and every day we would go take that yellow bucket and go down to the spring and fill that bucket up and bring it and set it on the counter right beside the sink, and that's where that bucket sat at all the time. And we had one of those stainless steel ladles that are aluminum. They were aluminum, I believe. Yes, they were. That we stuck down in there and hung it across the edge of the bucket, and all through the day, didn't think a thing about it. Just grab that ladle and take us a big drink of water out of that ladle. Everybody did. It was just something you did in the household. You know, now we don't drink after each other at all, hardly, or anything. But it seemed like that water always, it was spring water, and it always stayed cold. And something about that aluminum ladle stayed cold. And something about that water, there was just nothing like that water out of that ladle. I love that. And I can just taste it just as plain today as I did then. And I really enjoy having those memories and thankful for those memories. With that, it made me think about how we used to siphon gas we had my aunt. It was one of my aunts. It was one of the times I lived with one of my grandmothers. One of my aunts had a Pinto, one of those green Ford Pintos. And we would go out there, because I mean it was a good distance to go get gas, so we just didn't always go get gas. Back then you could siphon it out of a vehicle. We had an old garden hose that we cut in half or cut however. We'd stick it down in there and we'd push the push mower up to the side of it, and we'd start siphoning that gas. And I know I was in second grade. I remember that very vividly. I was in second grade and we were siphoning gas out of that Pinto so we could mow the yard. And I'll never forget thinking about that as well. Then it made me think, this is all kind of one of these things that kind of brought me into one place in my life. My grandmother had crawdad holes all over. You know, anytime you've got a spring like that, generally there's a lot of crawdads and stuff. Well, that's the same as it is here. There was crawdad holes all over the place, especially over near where her basement door was at. And I used to be scared to death to run barefooted around that end of the house, because I was afraid one of them crawdads would be out there and it would bite my toes off. And, you know, it's funny little things you remember about things like that. And we'd have to go down there and get coal. And we had the coal bucket. My grandpa and well, actually now even my uncles and some of my cousins and stuff still work in the coal mines in Virginia and West Virginia. And my grandpa worked in the coal mines, so we kept coal. That's what we used. And we'd have to go down there and get coal out of that basement. And that basement was just a dreary basement. The door didn't seem like it was that wide getting into it. And the place where the actual coal sat was just black, and then the coal was black, so you couldn't even see what you were doing. You just had to feel for it and get it and get out of there. That's what we used to do. And the steps that actually went down into it that from the house were straight down. They were narrow little steps, and you couldn't see squat when you were going up and down them steps if you went in through the house to go down. So we'd go down through the outside because we'd open that door and we'd be able to see a little bit better. But then we were afraid of the crawdads coming out and bite their toes off. But it's some funny different things you just think about when you're growing up with things like that. But I wanted to bring those to you, and hopefully I know that'll probably stir up some other thoughts for you guys, thinking about things you used to do whenever you were a kid. You know, we used to go off. Our farm here in Tennessee, where I grew up, we had 140 acres, and I remember us being gone half a day whenever we went in between crop seasons and stuff like that. We'd stay gone fishing and just exploring in the woods and things like that. And Mama didn't think a thing about it. They'd holler. Daddy had a certain whistle, and when you heard that whistle, he could whistle loud. You knew it was time to get your butt to the house, and you better get there quick. And we would. I don't think they really worried about us. They might have worried about snakes or something like that, but I don't recall them worried about. We'd get in the creek and play around in the creek all day. It's just things that you used to do that people don't really do anymore. Some things I don't really want my grandkids to do. And I don't know if that's being too reserved or things are just different nowadays, you know. I don't know. But anyway, God bless you guys. I will talk to you later, and I hope everybody's doing magnificent. See ya.